That's how demonic it was. So I prayed hard, and I told myself, you know what, Bryan, don't pray, just sleep. So I slept. Then I woke up in the morning and said, just go swim. My breaking point was, I go to swim with one of my sons called Eric. I found my very close old buddy. He had turned gay. And when I saw him, he had a thing on my phone. On his phone says, I am gay. So what? I looked at him and says, oh hi Bryan. I'm like, oh hi. Happy to see you. I am the guy of this pool. I'm the one. I'm a lifesaver here. So when I was talking to him, he said, you know what, Bryan? The reason why I left your brother, you know my brother. Your brother ridiculed me for who I was. It's like, what do you mean who you are? You see, your brother chased me away from your home because of who I am. Then I started asking, well, who are you? Bryan, all my life I've been gay. It's like, oh, wait. And it's not a struggle anymore. So my point was, his struggle is not a struggle anymore. He's accepting it. I figured out that, okay, right now my point should be, the struggle I have of masturbation, what if I accept it and embrace it? My mind was there, so I go my swimming. So I swam every day for 30 days. That swimming was therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Therapeutic for me. Then later I discovered into medicine that is hydrotherapy. So I was like, okay, back to the point. So
before you can go very fast, because it's a very valid point.
Yes.
About swimming.
Yes.
Therapy and swimming.
Yes.
We can also say not just swimming, but activity, right? Like moving, walking, jogging, stuff like that. The more the body is being put into its spaces and you're active, the more you are healing the mind, something of the sort.
So I started sleeping after that.
Yeah.
Just my swimming day of 2 to 3 hours, I go back home busted and all I wanted was sleep. Yet I was struggling with sleep. So I rested over a time, and then God cornered me somewhere, and I'm one person who does not even quote God, that God told me. But that point I figured out that I needed me more than anything else to recover for the world out there. My brother, you don't know how many men I have saved from themselves. You don't know how many marriages I have saved by just the knowledge and wisdom I share with them. Many people come to me, Bryan, I'm struggling with masturbation. I'm like, oh, you're masturbating. I've switched off internet. Like, how are you switching off internet in this world? You don't need to switch off internet to overcome masturbation. You don't need to switch off your internet to overcome pornography. Look at pornography as a place that, what if it is just me from... You see, the pornography I was watching took me to a place where I am earning from pornography. The masturbation I did and struggled, it took me from a place where it was a struggle to my source of income. You don't know how much money I discovered for myself. Okay, after you masturbate, your penis becomes weak. After you masturbate, you lose so much minerals that after you've been masturbating, your penis starts shrinking. It becomes small in size. Then I was like, how do I overcome this? My recovery process became a business for me.
So what you're saying in short is that there is a negative part of masturbation in terms of physiology. The
physiology changes.
Yeah?
Yes.
It affects a guy who is addicted to masturbation. It affects his physiology
a lot more. And
does it affect this guy also in marriage?
It affects a lot more. You see, masturbation doesn't stop about your physiology. It affects your whole psychology. Yeah. Because you see, back to science, every time you release or come through your masturbation, you're losing minerals that are important to your body. The zinc is like 7 grams. That's why most people who masturbate, you're uncoordinated, you're stressed, you're easily stressed. You're in that place where you're not physically sound.
Yeah.
I had a lot of women at the time because I was a handsome man in power. Every time I would just touch a girl just to kiss, I come. I started being ashamed of myself. You can't
Will they notice?
I don't know, because that would be the end.
Yeah.
One girl actually noticed and said, damn. It was a shaming for me. Then I started, oh wait, now I need to start learning how to overcome this. It actually took me like almost a long time. You see, the thing I'm teaching now to people how to learn foreplay, it was because of masturbation that weakened me to a place where I became a star at foreplay. I became a star at that. So then my stories have been, your negative story has a positive in it. Now, you see, one of the greats said, if you want to learn how to do things easily, find a lazy person. You know?
Yeah.
Find a lazy person.
Yeah.
You find a way to do things easily,
so that they can go back to the laziness.
Exactly.
They do it so fast. So the laziness is.
You will always create a way to do things in your comfort.
Yeah.
Give 10 people a way to solve a situation. Everyone has.
Yeah.
We all have an answer, but we have a different formula. So
yeah.
I figured out. Okay, now what is my formula in this? I have a lot of women all over me. I'm a very intelligent man. Women are all over me. Now I'm feeling ashamed. I don't want to be talked about that way. So I figured out that what do women want? How do you become a star to make a woman come? I figured out women with their sexuality, it's not what you do to them that makes you good with them. It is how you make them feel.
Okay, we're going to take a break, a very quick one. We're going to come back. We're going to come back right there about women. Welcome to The Solutions Nuggets, a reflection on societal issues where men are involved in one way or another.
Hello world, I welcome you to Ngonzi's Nuggets, and today I want to address myself to the world and global prevalent problem that is gender-based violence, and specifically I want to talk about rape. This week I was watching the news and there was this particular documentary about the effects of rape as a weapon that was used in Libya during the revolution against Gaddafi. First it was Gaddafi's soldiers who went out, and the order that they were given is rape them and humiliate them. And they went about raping women and men and children. And when Gaddafi fell, the victims now began to pursue the perpetrators, and they did to them exactly what had been done to them. But particularly what caught my attention is what one of the young men said, one who had been sent on this errand. He said rape destroys everything. And globally, in global conflicts, rape has been used as a tactic to break people's backs. It's happened in Congo, it's happened in America. But the sad thing is when that rape happens at home. When that rape is done by someone that you trust. I stand against gender-based violence in any way. But in this particular season that is Valentine's, and people are lovey-dovey, when you're out with someone, please do these 3 things. 1, pay attention to them. Be clear about what their intentions are. If you're a man, you've taken a woman on a date, please pay attention. And secondly, get consent. Get consent. And thirdly, please be transparent about what you want from a woman. Because there is no place for rape in a civilized society. That is the Ngonzi Nugget for today. And Solid Jamaaz, a loving and protective gentleman. Blessings.
This has been The Solutions Nuggets here on Solid Jamaaz. We're back, and we're here with Bryan. This is a very interesting, explicit episode. Yeah. We're talking about sex.
Yeah.
You're talking about, I think you went very much ahead, that section of pleasing women. We're going to come back to it. But I want to throw a spanner in the works, as usual. I'd like to do this. You are in a church setting, and these sex things are happening to you in a church setting.
Yeah.
we've got to agree, all of us, we've got to agree that just the fact that you're in church doesn't exempt you from sexuality, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where the people go to get healing. So people it means they're struggling.
People go to church. No, forget about even people going to church to get healing. I'm saying, even if you have the healing itself, you are not exempt from sexuality. Sexuality is not. Let's talk about holiness and sex.
You see, one of the reasons why I sometimes sound funny and controversial when it comes to Christianity and their tag of sex. To them, sex is evil. To them, sex is sinful. Sex is everything bad. You see, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6:16, I quote Message version, it says, there is more to sex than just mere skin on skin. Sex is a spiritual thing more than a physical fact. So when you understand the spirituality of sex and its holiness, you get to appreciate that the people that have struggles with sex is them that never understood or accepted their part in the sexual realm. This is what I'm saying. I have met men of God sleeping with church worshippers, sleeping with multiple women in church. So your weakness as a man and spirituality is your failure to control your sexual urge and your sexual troubles. That way, that's when it becomes very dangerous and detrimental in churches. People in church struggle. I told you I was in church when I, like 7 years ago, when I was in the Southern church and people started knowing that I teach sex on TVs. I'll see very young girls, worshippers, not married, asking me about sex things. Do you have something that can make me watery? Do you have something that's for tightening? I'm like, in my mind, I didn't get judgmental. I didn't get judgmental. But I'll see a worshipper asking me, who's not married and I know, asking me about something for tightening. I would look at a worshipper.
Brian, before you can go very far, because the question is about holiness and sex. And sex. And I know you're explaining it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But before we can go that far, let's just make it clear to the listeners. There are boundaries.
Very much so.
Isn't it so?
There
are boundaries when it comes to your holiness and sex and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I like to say that sex is like fire.
Yeah.
If it is in a charcoal stove, it will cook good food.
Mm-hmm.
If it is on the floor, it will burn your house down.
Yeah.
Those are the boundaries.
Yeah.
You get that? Yeah. Sex in a sigiri, sex in the right place, great things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Sex in the wrong space, lives end.
There are very many taboos, I'm putting in quotes, out there. I don't know if you've ever gone for an overnight stuff like overnight prayers and so on, and you hear pastors explicitly talking about issues related with sex in the marital situation, banning 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 things like some aspects of foreplay in marriage, right?
Like which ones?
Like
eating pussy. Okay.
What do they call? What's the word?
It's called cunnilingus.
Yeah. I'm gonna edit that out.
No, don't.
This is adult content,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as much as there is spirituality, there is morality, right? And there are boundaries. There is a danger of eliminating for lack of a better word, the innocent ones, the innocent things that people can be able to do that can help them in their sexuality.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something very, very funny and crazy. After I started doing sex and teaching about it, one of the biggest churches invited me to do their premarital counseling. And
were you married then?
I wasn't married.
Right.
I'll tell you, I wasn't married. But everyone believed I was married because of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was sexually active then. So one of the bishops, actually is a Reverend Canon, was passionately saying, be free to eat your wife's pumpkin. I would use the word pumpkin.
Yeah.
It is a form of pleasure. A Reverend, I was like, oh, I love the Reverend because I am a fan of eating pumpkin.
Yeah.
But the thing is, connecting spirituality and sex, you can separate the two. You cannot separate the two.
Yeah.
Our danger is witch hunting and turning what is good to be evil. Tell people that, Brian, before you start sleeping around, Get married. There's no age bracket to getting married.